Why haters are never a bad thing. Hi, I'm Anne-Margaret with this week's Sacred Sunday message to raise the vibration of your body, mind, and spirit. So, in this world, if you are boldly living your purpose, haters are inevitable. And I don't really like the word haters, but it's a very good word to describe the feeling that we experience when we have those people in our life, those naysayers who are focused on everything that we're doing that they don't agree with. Now, this is something that it's a touchy subject because it's very important to know what your truth is to understand if you are experiencing this from somebody else or if it's something that you might want to just pay attention to because they are there for your awakening. So it can be a little tricky understanding which actually is a hater and which is one who is going to inform you and allow you to understand yourself even more so. And I'd say even the haters help you do that too. But if you are experiencing this from someone in your life, there's a lot going on right now online where people are really quite hateful in their speech, in their ways that they are describing people who were friends of theirs, or even the president of the United States, or his opponent. I mean, this is happening politically. It's happening, and we see this all the time in our own families sometimes, and then also just with people who are in the public eye, open for public ridicule. It's as soon as they step out and do something that is not something that it's unpopular. It's something that not everybody's going to agree with. If the if the people who are witnessing this event are not aware of themselves and not really in integrity themselves, it's very easy to immediately criticize. And that can be, like I said, in your family. It can be very easily on a public forum. Maybe you see a celebrity and they do something that you don't agree with. And I mean, I've done talks on cancel culture and this kind of thing as well. But it's not just a cancel environment right now. It's a very aggressive, dismissive environment. So this is something that we will always struggle with as humans, I believe, because we fall into the traps of not connecting with our own true purpose. And it's so critical for those of you who are experiencing this or have experienced this to be brave, to have the courage in your heart to live your true purpose, because too many have forfeited, quite frankly, their unique gift to this world in exchange for a false sense of acceptance or a false sense of security. So, our fears of rejection, our fears of failure, and quite frankly, even the fear of succeeding or success or victory those fears can really paralyze us and keep us in a state of muting ourselves, a state of an existence that's really feeling like it's empty because we're so afraid of being criticized, or we're so afraid of failing or falling on our face. We're so afraid of failing to do something that we said we were going to do. But this is one of the coolest aspects of being human. It is taking risks. It is finding your true purpose. It's having the courage that if everyone else is against you, that you listen to that direct connection that you have with your soul, with source, with God, and you're able to honor that guiding force within you and around you that is leading you in a direction that your soul came to this earth to pursue. So instead of, and to me, really, that is true living. If we are able to have the courage to go in our own direction, then we feel that rush of purpose. We feel that rush of um, of altruism, of integrity, of being who we know we are meant to be, regardless if we face criticism. And it's so challenging. And if you think about some of your heroes, right? And if those heroes had listened to the criticism being thrown their way, if they had been crippled by the criticism or the doubt or, quite frankly, the hate speech that came their way, and didn't listen to that deeper calling within them, or that higher calling, we'll say, we would not have the same world that we have today. We would not have those heroes to look towards for inspiration, whether they be heroes that have overcome major physical disabilities, mental challenges, societal breakthroughs. I was watching. Some of you might know the series The Crown, which is all about the English royalty, and there was a beautiful scene in one of the episodes, and it was of Margaret Thatcher. And Margaret Thatcher, being a female prime minister, had quite a bit to deal with, and having an all-male cabinet. And I did some research on her because in one episode there was a poem by a Scottish poet, Charles Mackay, and she referenced this, and I thought, wow, that was really a stunning poem. And so I did some research on it, and apparently Margaret Thatcher reference and really called on the poetry of this Scottish poet to inspire her, and specifically a poem about enemies. So I'm going to share this with you because whether you are sliding into the trap of being a hater, you're forfeiting your true voice by focusing so much on criticizing others or trying to bring down others. Really, by shining your own light and being your own beacon in the world, you can create so much more change and purpose and ripple effect in your life, rather than being a naysayer, rather than criticizing those who are actually on the field. So, getting on the field, living your purpose. But in order to do that, you have to deal with your fear of haters, fear of criticism, fear of being ousted from the tribe. So I'm going to read this short poem to you by Charles Mackay. He says, "You have no enemies, you say. Alas, my friend, the boast is poor. He who has mingled in the fray of duty that the brave endure must have made foes. If you have none, small is the work that you have done. You've hit no traitor on the hip. You've dashed no cup from perjured lip. You've never turned the wrong to right. You've been a coward in the fight." It's such an amazing little tiny poem that really, and it's so cool that Margaret Thatcher called on this poet, because sometimes in our life we have to step into that den of wolves to courageously be or bring to the world our own gift. I know this personally, and in my own challenges of going my own way. I'm sure you know what that feels like in your life. And maybe you're standing at a precipice where you're really unsure about the next step because you're paralyzed the fear of rejection. And I have included in the notes today some references to some really fun songs of from the ex-ambassadors, from Taylor Swift, the Renegade song, the from the ex-ambassadors, and then also Shake It Off, which has 3 billion views. I think that this is a very popular song for a reason, not just because it's Taylor Swift, but because so many of us are so tired of the kind of like the sludge that we take on from other people's criticism. It's so simple to stand, or to remain in the stands. It's so simple to remain as a spectator in the game of life and point the finger and criticize. It is so much more challenging, but so much more enriching to be on the field. So why does that one video have 3 billion views? It's because collectively we connect with this message that there are always going to be naysayers. There are always going to be people who doubt us, who question us. Some of the greatest inventors, people who have created billion-dollar companies, in the face of people shutting them down over and over and over again, telling them to give up. I think of Hershey, who went bankrupt. His aunt even remortgaged her house to take a final investment in him, and because he believed in what he was doing. And look at the chocolate empire that exists today. There are so many beautiful inspirational stories, and I really invite you to call on them to give you courage, to remind you when you're trying to speak your truth into the world, you're getting met with hate speech, whether it be online or in your community or whatever it is, or if you're a celebrity out there and you're struggling with people constantly trying to bring you down. It's about really truly connecting with the source, with God, with your true voice, your true purpose. And when you connect with that, you're either bowing to the acceptance of people or you're bowing to your true purpose. You're either serving one of two masters. One is the egoic master and one is the soul master. What are you going to serve? Okay. Another one of my very favorite quotes, and I put a link to one of my spoken words. I do spoken word poetry, and I write music, and I've included one spoken word and one song that I really connect with around this topic. And the spoken word is called "Break Free," and you can go and watch that if you want. But in that particular spoken word, it says break free of others' expectations, of their disappointments, their betrayals, even their dreams for you. And then I reference a Betty Davis quote that says, if everyone likes you, you must be boring. Because if you are here to gain the acceptance and gain the approval and the adoration of everyone, you will fail. You will fail. You will fail. So just give it up right now. It is never going to happen. You will never get everyone's appreciation. You will never get everyone's approval. People will hang you up to dry with their words, their hate speech. They will try and crucify you in some way or another. But there is no greater hell than trying to appease anyone. And in one of my songs that I included, "The Difference One Life Makes," uh, I wrote in here in the bridge of that song, I said, "A sure key to failure is trying to please everyone. The battle is lost before it's even begun." And I speak from firsthand experience. I'm sure you know what that's like. When you are living your life trying to please other humans and your purpose is very different, it is here to do something else, the battle's lost before it's even begun. You will never win. You will never, never win. So this talk very much today is about the fifth chakra. It's about having the courage of the heart to spill up into the throat, to have the courage to speak your truth, to know your truth, to communicate that truth. I use essential oils, I use stones, I use so many things, and I included them in the Raise the Vibration talk, but also in the notes for this. Different oils, if you are sliding into being a spectator and a hater and being on the sidelines criticizing those who are actually in the world in their purpose, I've included a couple oils that are really going to connect you with courage, with actually having self-respect and recognizing that every time you open your mouth, you are expressing your truth, the truth about you. And if it's hate speech, it means you have a lot of hate within you. And all of us struggle with this to a degree. We do struggle with this, but there are ways of getting around this, of moving through it. And I love these essential oils. And if you have haters, I have included a couple really good ones. Tea tree is such a great one to put on your solar plexus as an energetic boundary to disconnect with those people in your life who are really like vampires. And then also lavender, because lavender is really gives you the courage to let go of the fear of rejection. So there are some really great practical tools I've included in the references and the resources that I've included in the notes for today. And I just want to say, have courage, you guys. I'm going to pick an archetype card for you guys as well today to get some wisdom around this. But have courage. We must speak our truth and recognizing that. And if there's any sort of hate speech in there, we know that something's off. We know that we are a spectator. We know we're on the sidelines. Okay. So keep checking in with yourself. Breathe. Turquoise is another great stone to wear for that fifth chakra, and to have courage, purity of speech, wearing blues and aquamarines. All right, let's look at these cards. Oh, so good. Vampire. You guys see that? Vampire. Makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Those are the haters. Shadow attribute, depleting others for your own psychic survival. So stop being on the sideline, get on the field. That's a great Chronic complaining and codependency. That's an amazing archetype for today. Abundancia, prosperity. Oh, I'm going to make a couple notes about this in the references, but just being open, trusting yourself. Love you guys. Keep raising the vibration. All right. Have a beautiful day. Bye, everybody.